Hi guys, this is Dr. Farjan. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Like always, it's an honor to connect with you. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of loving yourself. I'm going to have continued conversations about this and why it's so important to love yourself. Okay, so loving yourself means to completely be yourself fearlessly. I feel like sometimes that concept of loving yourself is just too vague and too overwhelming for some people to even fathom or even process. Like, how do I love myself? Where do I start? Right? So, this is where you start. You start from loving yourself fearlessly. How? By being yourself fearlessly. Right? So, you hold on to your power by not being a victim to your circumstances. It's easier to just sit there and wallow when certain things happen in life. Of course, feel your emotions, go through it, go through those hard times. Take your 2 days, 3 days, or whatever, how many times you need. Go through your ups and downs. However, at the end of the day, always have that change your default setting or reprogram your mindset to I am not going to be a victim to my circumstances. I am not. Right? And then quickly become over as after you process it and you notice that you're in that getting in that victim state, start becoming proactive, right? Embrace all of who you are and don't be who everybody else wants you to be. Yes. Yes. You don't have to be that feeble, docile individuals who just keeps all her emotions or his emotions inside, right? Or you be yourself fearlessly. Embrace all of who you are. Who are you? Know who you are, right? So the first step in all of this is to know who you are. Know who you are. Sit down and actually write down who am I? And sit down and write that down and define it clearly. The goal is to accept every part of you, okay? The next step is to know the parts of you that you don't like about yourself. Right? Don't deny those realities as well. What are the parts that you are kind of embarrassed of or you regret? Write that down too, and see how you can embrace that part of you and the part of you that you judged, whether it's in when you were a teenager, when you were a preteen or a young adult, whatever it is, right? Really sit there and say, wait, what parts am I still hiding, right? And list it. For example, it can be the times when you rebelled, right? The time when you spoke up against your mother-in-law, right? Or your ex-mother-in-law, or anytime that, any time that you felt shame by family members, by friends, by societal standards. Write those down clearly. Identify those clearly. Embrace the rebelling self, right? Embrace the parts that spoke up against dysfunction. Embrace the parts that spoke up against bullies in your friend circles or in your family life. Actually be proud of that person. So now you're looking back at the parts you judged, and you're now turning it into empowering parts of you, right? Empowering parts of you, and you're integrating it to who you are now, you are becoming, right? And so there's no conflict. You're loving all of you. All of this you're loving, right? The parts that spoke up against, and clearly define those things that you spoke up against, right? Once you embrace the parts of you who is a rebel, who speaks up, who stands up against injustice or authority, you can fully live in your truth. When you express your story, your truth, you give other people permission to express their stories and their truth. So you start creating that safe space wherever you go, because you're authentic. You're connecting to your authentic self, right? So again, what are the steps to loving yourself completely and fully. Fill your cup, number 1, daily. Love yourself. Drink that coffee. Have that ice cream or whatever brings you joy. Read that book. Watch that movie. Rollerblade. Whatever you do, whatever you know what fills your cup, and do more of that. Okay? Know yourself, which we talked about in depth. Know yourself. Know the things that bother you. Know when your triggers. So when you know them, you're able to process it and then express it to your loved ones. So you're not carrying it with it and you're not withdrawing, right? So knowing yourself thoroughly, your triggers, what do you do when those triggers arise? Do you withdraw? Do you get quiet? Do you distance yourself? And then learn better ways to express them, to heal, to let go, so you're not carrying it with you. Be the brightest light you can be. Don't allow yourself to become drained, because then your energy decreases and you go into that survival mode, and those negative default settings become active. So again, I'll say that again. Don't allow yourself to become drained, because your energy then decreases. You go into survival mode. Those negative default settings become active. So from there, you can help people just with your presence, because at the end of the day, we are all energy, and energy of greatness and positivity can spread when you are in your authentic self, when you stand every day in your authentic self. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Sending you lots of love and peace.